I decided that I'd go and spend a day working on the bins in Kensington and Chelsea with the K7 truck. It's called a split truck, so it takes half recycling and landfill and energy from waste on the other side, so the black bin side. These guys who work on the bins are absolutely amazing, and they do the best they can. And there were some hilarious stories about things getting hidden in black bin liners, pots of paint which would then become these kind of projectile weapons of mass destruction, which would zip out the back of the lorry and cover cars with gloss paint, and all the kind of arguments then about who owns what bin bag and how you can trace the rubbish back to the person who put it in there in the first place.
Yeah, like sneaky hidden electronics.
We have a really good system for collecting waste. We have a system that tells us what to put into our recycling bins. It tells us what it's going to come and collect. In this particular area, 4 days a week, they collect rubbish. They work out whether they can recycle it or not, how much contamination is in each of the bins. What we were finding when you pick up a bin that had recycling quite predominantly on the plastic bag, you'd find things in it which shouldn't be in the recycling bins. Like food waste, for instance, which if there's so much of the food waste, it will be rejected at the collection point a bit further down the line. So we had to then put that into the landfill bin side. It was a real eye-opener for me because, you know, I try and recycle as much as possible at home, but even now, you know, I have big kind of discussions with my family about whether a piece of black packaging or black plastic can go into the recycling side or not. All of these decisions are made in the household, and actually we are not doing it properly. We're still not doing it properly.
Do you take like construction waste?
When you start talking about going into a circular economy, you think actually those systems are going to get harder because we need to separate and purify our waste streams more and more and more. I think what's really obvious is that we as designers and we as manufacturers and producers, we put a lot of onus on the residents and the households to actually really separate properly, and it's becoming more and more complicated. All of our products are basically commingled. It's very difficult for us to know how many different types of plastic there are on a piece of packaging. It's very difficult for us to know why we can't recycle certain things when we think we should be able to. Even before we get to the point of talking about circularity, we really have to start thinking about the systems we have in place for the moment, even for a basic kind of resident recycling, and how difficult we're making it for everybody. A lot of people were really surprised to see me working on the streets in high-vis, head-to-toe high-vis. So it was a very, very interesting experiment in kind of social etiquette of how we deal with people who have to deal with all of our rubbish on a day-to-day basis as well. It's very, very interesting for anyone to go and experience, you know, how the current infrastructure is for recovering, this kind of very important junction point between the household and the first step on the kind of waste journey of all of our materials.
Okay.